We program a Mobile Alert EZ unit. First we place the Mobile Alert into its cradle. The cradle needs to be attached to the computer. You'll then press the on-off button until you see the little red light flicker in the background on that on-off switch. Once you've done that, double-click on this icon on your desktop and then this will appear. Now if you've done all that right, you'll see this will populate right here. You click on this, sometimes you'll see a second COM port. If you do, click on the bottom one. If you just have the one COM port, then click on Start. You'll see that the serial port has opened successfully and this will begin to populate. Now we want to read what's on the device and have it show up here, so we need to load from the device by clicking there. So once this finishes loading, it will then show us what has been programmed in from the factory. So we see here that we've requested from the factory to program this number in, which is the number of seconds that Greenwich Mean Time is, or the Perth is of Greenwich Mean Time, which is 8 hours. If you're in the eastern states, then this is going to read 10 hours at this time, which is now it's mid-July, well, late July. But basically it'll be 10 hours during the winter, and that would read then 36,000 seconds. This right here is what you would put the first and last name of the person. I won't write my last name, but basically you'd put that there. This is mainly for your record keeping so that you know whose device this is. The PIN code, that can be skipped. You'd enter here the mobile number of whoever the device belongs to. So I'll just enter a bunch of numbers in there randomly. This number really doesn't have a great deal of bearing except for your record keeping purposes, because if the user decides to take the SIM card out and place a different one in, well, this isn't going to be the number that's written here. We found that there's no bearing in the functionality of the device regardless of what SIM card is into it. So this is more for your record keeping. After the main page, you then click on the communication page, and this is the only thing that you need to enter on this page. Now this number right here, and again I'll just enter random numbers, this is the number that the device will respond or acknowledge texts being sent to it. Right now we're programming it with the computer, however it can also be programmed by text, or at least receive messages by text, but only if it has a Telstra or Aldi SIM card in it. We found that if you have an AMESIM card in and you text it, it will not send response texts. What will happen is that even with an AMESIM card or any other card, it will send its location and it will send a low battery alert text. That doesn't seem to make any difference. But as far as actually being able to program it by text, it has no, an AMESIM card, you can't do it. It needs to be a Telstra, or we haven't tried it with Vodafone or some other SIM cards, but the three that we use, we know that it doesn't receive Aldi, or rather AMESIM texts, but it will respond with either Aldi or Telstra texts. And this is the number that the confirmation text will be returned to. So this can be any number. We recommend that it's set for contact 1, but if somebody else wants to be the one that programs it, we don't recommend that you put your own number there just so that you can program into it. This should be one of the emergency contact numbers. So once that's entered in, we then go to this page, and these 3 pages are the only ones you need to deal with: main, communication, and security. All these other 4, this one, this one, this one, and this one, can be ignored for now. So once you're on the security page, you would enter in the emergency contact number in that line. They can have up to 6 emergency contact numbers, so we'll do just a couple there for now. This number represents the number of seconds that it will call this number before it then moves on to the next number. So this can be changed to 30 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever you want. The default is 20 seconds, and we recommend you leave it at that. Now, if contact 1 says, oh, my voicemail comes on in 15 seconds, well, you can make it go for 14 seconds and then move on. But anyway, that number can be changed right there. This number has reference to the number of times it will call each of these numbers in sequence before moving on to the next time. So if you want it to go 2 all the way through, or 3 up to 255, or even infinity, well then you would enter that. We don't recommend going more than once or twice through all the numbers. As soon as one person answers, it doesn't bother calling anyone else. It stops the sequence of calls. Voicemail will also stop it because it recognizes the call as having been answered, even if it goes to voicemail. If the person wants to have only certain people calling the device, then their numbers would be entered in here. You can enter into up to 4 different numbers that would be able to call the device, or if you untick that one right there, then anyone can call into it. So this would then be moot, doesn't matter what's entered there. We generally recommend that anyone is able to call in. Some people, though, will request that only certain people call in. If this button is ticked, obviously it's then going to automatically answer. It will ring 2 or 3 times, then automatically answer. If this one is ticked, enable button to hang up call, this allows the user to be able to push the button on the device to hang up the call. Speaker volume. There's 3 different speaker volumes, low, medium, and high. We recommend that one right there, but if the user is hard of hearing, you get a surprisingly good sound, crisp sound, even with the 12,000. Ring volume, it'll go up to 4. We like it on 3. Some people might want it to be a little bit less loud than that. That can be changed with that number right there. This button, this tick right here, enables calls to be received to these numbers up here. So right now, these 2 numbers, if they were real numbers, would receive a text if the button is pushed. If this is ticked, then they would also receive a call in addition to the text. So this basically allows each of these people to receive a call. Now, once it's fully programmed as the user has requested, you then want to load everything that's been entered onto the device, or I should say save it to the device. So we would click Save to Device. It's now loading all the information that we've entered. You click OK, and it's now all a done deal. We recommend that you save this to file. Now I'll get rid of that and click, we generally save all the information that we enter. So if you have the person's last name here, and you then click on Save to File, it's then going to save into whatever program you want. We recommend setting up a folder on your desktop called EZ Customers or something along those lines, so that when you click Save to File, you would enter the person's name that you're saving, and then their programming would be on their file. So if at any future point you want to find out exactly what you've programmed, you need only put any EZ into the cradle, and then you can click on the person's name which you've saved, and it'll bring up all of the information that you've entered in. That's pretty much all you need to know to do with the programming of the EZ with the computer. Thanks for listening.